it's finally time to talk about the first Avenger himself, Captain America. Hello and welcome to Nelson Oliver Cards. Today we're diving in and taking a look at Captain America from Marvel Champions. Captain America has been out for a while in this game, however we're just now getting to him when we're going through these solo reviews. So just as a recap, I played 4 different games with Captain America, one in each of the 4 aspects, and then we are sitting down here, we're going to talk about him, talk about his kit, some of the cards that he likes, and then rank the aspects and put him in our overall ranking of all the Marvel Champions heroes. So without further ado, let's talk about his alter ego side. Steve Rogers has a pretty low 3 recovery, but that's offset by some of his abilities in alter ego. He has a setup ability that says you get to search your deck and discard pile for Captain America's shield and add it to your hand. Captain America's shield is, the iconic weapon, I guess you can call it a weapon, but the iconic piece for Captain America, and we're going to talk about what the shield does here in a little bit, but you get it right as we start the game, which is really solid. And he also has another ability called Living Legend that states that the first ally played each round is at a 1 cost discount. So this is really good, right? Like, it can get you kickstarted. You start the game in alter ego, so if you draw an ally in that opening hand, you can immediately take use of it and get something out onto the table very cost effectively, and it's just a nice way to jumpstart a game. However, be a little careful here because it is the first ally played each round, so on a future turn, if you play an ally while you're in hero form and then you flip down, that bonus is gone. The bonus takes into account the entirety of the round, not just the time that you've been in alter ego. Also, this could be a little wonky for multiplayer games where if you're in hero form and someone else plays an ally, then you flip down, they don't get that benefit. However, if you're already in alter ego, someone else can get the benefit of the Living Legend ability. Once we flip that hero card over, Captain America, without a doubt, has an incredible stat line. I mean, that's not a shock to anyone. He's the iconic hero, right? He's the first Avenger. He's one of, if not the most famous heroes in all of Marvel. Honestly, that's a good question. It would probably be him or Spider-Man, or maybe Wolverine. I don't know. Anyways, but he has that 222 stat line, which is so solid, especially when you combine it with his I Can Do This All Day ability, which states that you can discard a card from your hand and ready Captain America. So you can utilize those stats multiple times each round. Now, this I Can Do This All Day ability is an action, and so just as a reminder, actions can only be triggered in the hero phase. So if you do defend with him, you cannot discard a card until it is passed from the villain phase to the hero phase. And so I have seen this as a question or an issue that has come up a couple of times where if you defend, discard a card to stand them up, and then you can't do that again in the hero phase. So you have to wait until the hero phase to actually stand them up. But still, incredible ability. All of Cap's cards are very solid. He has a incredibly good kit, and even if they were not, each of them could read as a 0 cost ready Captain America, because that's his I Can Do This All Day ability. So even if you're left with dead cards that you don't feel like you can utilize, they still have a use in Cap's deck, which is so cool. He's so good. He is so good. We're gonna talk about overall rankings here in a bit, but if you can't tell by my enthusiasm, he may be up there at the top of the list. So I told you about Cap's Shield. Cap's Shield is a 1 cost upgrade that gives him a +1 defense, changing that stat line to a 2/2/3, and also gives him a retaliate, making it very easy for him to defend himself and also ping that villain back for that 1 health, which is pretty significant over the long course of the game, especially because you get on turn 1. He has 2 Super Soldier Serums, which are 2 cost upgrades that are resource generators. They generate a physical resource, and so 2 of them in his kit. I mean, once you get Cat rolling, he is humming. He can pay for pretty much anything, and then his Heroic Strike is his damage card. It's a 3 cost card that does 6 damage. If you pay for it with a physical resource, you get to stun the enemy, so it's a better version of Dropkick. Well, actually, I don't know. It's very similar to Dropkick, right? But it's, solid damage plus a stun, which can be a little anti-synergistic with the retaliate, but you just have to play around with it. And probably my favorite card in all of Cap's kit is Shield Block. I love defense. I love that idea around, playing on the villain's turn. Shield Block says you can exhaust Captain America's shield to prevent all the incoming damage. So this means you get to see that boost card before you play Shield Block. You don't have to defend or exhaust Captain America to defend. And so just a lot of flexibility in how you can utilize Shield Block, and you still get that Retaliate when you play it. So really solid card, and just protects him so. He has a lot of other cards in his kit. I'm not going to go into all of them, but just know that most of them, if not all of them, are just very, very strong, and you're not going to have any issues if you just play them. So very, very good hero. Some of the basic cards that he likes is the Avengers Tower. So Avengers Tower increases your ally limit by 1 as long as all of your allies share the Avenger trait, and you can also exhaust the tower to reduce the cost of the next ally played by 1. This has a dual purpose. Cap loves his allies. This helps you get more of those out quicker and more of them just onto the table, increasing that ally limit. But one word of advice, be careful. Agent 13, his signature ally, is not Avenger traded, so you are stuck with one ally that may kill that bonus, but you can play around it. Alrighty, so let's dive in and rank the aspects in terms of what he's least good in to best good in. And we're going to start off in 4th place with aggression. And I will preface this by saying he is so freaking good in aggression. And so that just tells you how good he is in the other aspects as well. But he has the physical resource generation with the super soldier serum to get all those kickers for drop kick and surprise attack and everything that requires that physical resource that we see a lot in aggression. And his stun luck potential in aggression is incredible. And so with heroic strike and dropkick, you can pretty much guarantee that the villain will be stunned every single turn in a solo game, and if not, he doesn't have any issues taking a couple hits. He's going to be fine in aggression. He just has the ability to pay for the damage cards, and he can win. He's very solid in aggression, but not as good as Justice, which is our 3rd place aspect. Justice allows you to flip down and make use of his Living Legend ability, as well as some of his alter ego cards that he has. He has not a thwart card in his kit, but it is a card that helps deal with threat, and that's Fearless Determination. It's a 0 cost card that says Cap gets +1 thwart, and then you get to draw a card. So it refills itself. So Cap's basically playing with 38 cards in his deck, because you do get to draw that card for free, and that allows you to kind of manage your threat, right? Because if you roll down, the villain schemes for, let's say, 6, right? You can flip out, play a Fearless Determination, thwart for 3, I can do this all day, thwart for 3 again, and right there, you've taken away a huge villain activation turn, a huge villain scheme, right? And so Cap doesn't really have any issues managing threat, and so Justice is kind of piling onto something that he's already good at, but it does give you a little bit more security in rolling down to help get out some of those allies with his Living Legend ability. In 2nd place, this is my favorite aspect, and, well, yeah, that's actually a true statement. This is my favorite aspect and my favorite way to play Captain America. That's protection. He has that 3 defense with his shield. He already has Retaliate. And so if you watch the Black Panther video, you know why I love this already, right? You're dealing damage off the bat with a 3 defense, right? Black Panther has 2 and Retaliate. Cap has 3 and Retaliate. With that Retaliate built in, you want to be taking hits to trigger it. And so that's why aggression stun lock can be a little anti-synergistic. You don't get that Retaliate damage because the villain is not attacking you. However, in protection, you can. Also, protection has an incredible stun lock as well, but protection allows you to lean into his defensive abilities, take those hits, not take any damage because he has a 3 defense. There's very few heroes that after you're built up, starting with a 3 defense can actually hurt you if you're playing a full perfect defense build. So you can take advantage of that Retaliate and then also throw on your electrostatic armors and all the other ways to deal damage to the villain whenever you're defending. You're going to be set up good. Also, one of the biggest issues with protection is not being able to utilize a basic activation on your hero phase if you have exhausted to defend during the villain phase. Cap doesn't care about that. He has his I can do this all day ability, allows you to stand up and utilize that activation. Cap and protection is very strong, but Cap in leadership is the best aspect. Leadership is a very strong aspect in general, and I think Jeremy Stewart said it best on one of my posts. He's strong in all of them, but leadership is leadership, right? Leadership is so good, and Cap being the leader, being that first Avenger, he does not disappoint in the blue aspect. So his Living a Legend ability allows you to get more allies out there cheaply. Strength in numbers is really good because you don't necessarily need your allies for chump blockers because he has that 3 defense. So what I like to run in leadership is allow Cap to be the defender and then let your allies shine. So I'm not necessarily running cheap allies. I want to run some of those higher cost allies, let them do what they are meant to do and not get thrown in front of the villain's activation because you have that 3 defense or you have those shield blocks. You have ways to protect your allies just like Cap wants to do, and then utilize cards like Strength in Numbers, band together, build out a board and let the allies go to town. Looking at the community ranking, we had pretty much the exact same thing going down the board. They also voted him as an S tier hero, and I agree with them again there. We're going to drop him on our solo tier list as an S tier hero right in front of Captain Marvel. He has an answer to everything, right? He has stun lock, he has damage in his kit, he has ways to mitigate threat, he has a 2/2/2 stat line, he gets multiple activations a turn, he has resource generation in his kit, 2 of them. There's very little Cap cannot do, and he very much deserves that S tier rank. He's one of the best solo heroes out there, and he can pretty much handle anything that the villain's gonna throw at him. So yeah, that's Captain America. I am so happy that they did Cap justice. He's such an iconic hero, and it's great to see, you know, someone who's so strong and so cool, right, in the comics and movies be so well portrayed in the game. And so I think they knocked Cap out of the park. Everyone would have been a little sad if Cap wasn't S tier, I think, and so he very much makes it to that list, and it makes me very happy. If you want to vote on who I play in these Hero Spotlights next, there's going to be a link down below. Go ahead and give that a vote. And if you like this content, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel out a lot. So I appreciate y'all. Thanks. If you have any special Captain America decks or anything that you want to share, drop them in the comments. And until next time, have fun playing some champions. See you around. Peace.